Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new series, Don't Starve. We will be doing a playthrough like we did for Terraria, but this is another fun game. It's kind of a survival horror-esque, sandboxy. It's a fun game. Yeah. So, to start off, new game. I'm gonna start. You have a lot of different characters that can be unlocked as you go. But we're going to start with the first. You start with Wilson. And his special is he's a scientist, and he grows a magnificent beard. That's important come winter. World, you can customize your world if you want more berry bushes, less enemies, etc. I'm going to leave everything at default. Yeah. Apply new preset? Yes. Default plus. Huh. Yeah. Standard don't start experience. We're gonna go with that. And let's get started. So, Don't Starve it's a hilarious game, frankly. The humor of it's fun. Iterating upon pathos. Yes. Because pathos need to be iterated. So we start off. This is Maxwell. For some reason, he's a jerk. Says, "Hey, you're stuck here. Have fun." So here we are, and you pick stuff up. Pick up seeds. You don't want to hit a bee. He will sting you, and if you're near a beehive, he'll summon friends. So you start off. You're just dumped out here in the wilderness. Your goal: gather materials, survive. But there's more to the game than that. Obviously, the first and foremost rule of this game is don't starve. You know, it's very imaginatively named, but not always a bad thing. So what I'm doing right now, I'm picking up just raw materials. Over on the left side, we have crafting, tools, light source. I can make a torch. That's important because come nightfall, if you're completely in the dark, there's the Grue. And the Grue is this evil monster you can't see coming, and it just murders you. So you always want to have a light source come nighttime. Speaking of nighttime, if you look in the top right, we have a day counter. Yellow is full daylight, red is dusk, and blue is nighttime. Basically, by the time it hits dusk, you should make sure you have some sort of plan in place for a source of light, or else you're going to have trouble. Also, in the top right, we have the stomach. There is hunger, health, and sanity. Sanity will go down over time for some things. We'll go into more of this later too. Here's somebody who starved. Hee. Yeah. But your health, your hunger slowly goes down. I can eat carrots and berries. You can also cook most things for more satiation. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Also, with this game, you can click to move around and click on things. As I've been talking to you, I've been using the keyboard and spacebar instead because I find that to be more convenient. But it's really to each their own. Pick what you like, stick with it, and have fun. So the first thing for the first night, I personally don't make a base camp. You can also make a campfire, which you can refuel. Torches burn down over time. So, if you find a perfect place to make camp, go ahead and make a camp. I personally have found... That's a weird little tear. I personally never find a perfect base camp immediately. So, I tend to just run around. Oh, cool. That's a mandrake. I'm going to leave it alone. If you pick him during the daytime, he falls over dead. It's a great fruit. If you pick him up in the dusk time, he'll run around and follow you, and he's kind of cool. So, I'll show you guys that. Maybe this episode, maybe another. Piggy house, we'll have to get into. Spiders, all sorts of stuff. For now, I'm just looking for supplies. If you press tab, it brings up a map. Kind of useful. Know where you've been, know where you're going. But yeah. So I enjoy this game. This is why we picked it for the next game. So we'll be opening up a new series of Don't Starve. Get started off, you know, basic survival. There is a story mode in this game. You start off in Sandbox and you unlock story mode. So, play a little bit in Sandbox, get you guys familiar with the game. The pigs are friendly, by the way, unless you attack them and then they get aggressive. This will spawn spiders, and they are aggressive. Fortunately, the pigs also don't like spiders. Yeah. As you can see, the screen's getting darker. That means it's nighttime. Or dusk. There we go. Alright, cool. Anyway, the pigs always go home at night, or starting with dusk, unless you've befriended them, which I'll get into later, and you have light. Otherwise, pigs are very afraid of the dark. Yeah. Where was I? I don't remember. So this will be the series. We'll get started with some Sandbox, and we'll go from there. As I said, make sure you have a plan. My plan will be a torch, so I will roam around. Hey, it's Mandrake again. I think this is a new one. Yeah. So now that it's dusk, meet my pet Mandrake. I'll call him Hoppy, because he hops a lot. Any rate, so my little pal Hoppy here will follow me around until, I think he stays out until next dawn. At dawn, the Mandrake will automatically replant himself, because sunlight just, you know, it's really bad for their complexion. He's an albino. Gets really bad sunburn. Aha! And over here, we have a pig house. That's fine. And crank thing. Grab that. These are evil flowers. Notice my sanity goes down. Also, now that it's dark, my sanity starts to go down. The little thing I picked up, though, this crank, it's part of a contraption. When you can build the whole contraption, that's how you unlock the story mode. Spiders come out at night. You just kind of give them a wide berth. I'm roaming around, and as you can see, there's different biomes, all bordered by water. I'm roaming the forest biome currently. Normally, lots of trees, some twigs, and spiders. Occasionally pigs. Useful for raw materials. Generally not really where you want to start. Because the things you really need when you start, easily available food, easily available fuel for your fire, which I'll get into if I can ever find buffalo. Ready food, and then stone. Oh hey, see this circle? That totally normal tree is not normal. If I were to chop it down, if I were to chop that totally normal tree down, it would give me nightmare wood. Yeah. So, yes, we found beefalo. Anyway, nightmare wood for later. Meet the beefalo. I am not going to attack him. They are docile except for mating season, but they are useful. They drop manure. Manure fuels fires very nicely and is fertilizer for farms you can get, because these seeds I've been picking up can be planted. Generally, that's something you want to look for, and try to have a home base near some beefalo. Not too near, because during mating season they'll kill you. They get very aggressive. Run away! The spider. Sorry, it's kind of dark at night. That's part of the effect of the game. It's supposed to be kind of, not really horror, but pseudo-horror, if you will. So I'm just biding my time. Incidentally, my torch is probably going to run out right about the same time as daytime. Oh dear. Whew! That was close. I don't know if you guys could hear the... Oh no! The spider killed my Mandrake. I am sad. Hoppy died. Well, I have a Mandrake. Mandrakes don't spoil. If you notice the green background fading away on these things, it means they spoil. Mandrakes are a superfood, so I will keep my pet Hoppy around to eat him later. Guess. Yeah, I guess he got caught up too. Anyway, daytime again. So we survived our first night. I'm getting hungry. My sanity is starting to go down. But yeah, meet the beefalo. They're happy. They're easy going. They're chill. They're just like, oh, see, oh. I think my audio levels are good, so sorry. I apologize if something's too loud or too soft. It's a work in progress. But what we're gonna do now. So I think at this point, this is a little pasture here. It's got spiders, which will be useful for some things. The only thing it's really lacking, it even has pig huts. It's lacking. It's lacking a lot of twigs and grass. So twigs and grass you go through ridiculously quickly. So it is lacking a bit of that. But those can be transplanted. So I think I might actually set up a home base here, because it's pretty convenient, all things considered. Yeah, it'll be a nice basic home. So we're just gonna scour around a little bit of the greater area, see what there is to see. So basically, your first couple days, you're just gathering raw materials and scouting. Gathering raw materials and scouting. Yeah, that is the first part of Don't Starve. Then you start getting into advanced crafting recipes. For those, you need a science workstation, and those require stone and gold and stuff. Yeah, stuff. Hey, look, we have piggies. Looks like they killed a spider. Actually, nitrate or niter, whatever, is useful later. For now, if you give a pig meat, it's not my friend. So staying around him raises sanity because, you know, if you're alone, you're crazy. If you have a buddy, you're happy. Also, if I try to attack it, if I chop a tree, they cut down trees for me. This is useful because I'm not using up the durability of my axe this way, and they'll just keep chopping. Really useful. Well, cutting, eating up my carrots. You can see my health is I am regaining health, regaining satiation. If you move too far away, he will stop mining and resume following you, and the pig will run off come nightfall. So this is what your pig does. Pretty useful. If I really wanted to. No, my seeds. Alright. Pigs will automatically eat things on the ground. Just something to keep in mind. I know there's another pig house up here. There we go. Something you can do when you're feeling especially evil, although first, actually, I need a lot more wood. So, I'm going to spend most of this day, it's already almost over, cutting wood. After these two trees, actually, I'll show you something else you can do with pigs. Yeah, come on, piggies. This away. So, these guys are peaceful until attacked. A little trick you can do. If you simply right-click and then stop your action, now we have a fight. The pigs will definitely be the ones to die. Also, the pigs have names. Septimus and something. But they will drop pig meat. Meat is very nutritious. Very useful stuff. Unfortunately, my beefalo are running through... There we go. He died. Did he drop? Drop meat. Perfect. So monster meat actually hurts your health when you eat it. Meat, which you can get from beefalo and pigs, although it's considered an evil act, there is a karma system we'll get into. This way I didn't take any negative karma because I didn't kill anything. I just instigated. But at any rate, I need more stone. There was a stone over here. I don't think it'll give me enough. So, what I want to build real quick, if I can do it before nighttime, you can make two different types of fire. I am one short. there another stone nearby? Not immediately. Let's go scanning. So you can make two different types of campfires. A campfire and a fire pit. A fire pit can be reloaded without having to be recrafted. A campfire, if you let it burn out, it's gone and has to be rebuilt. Additionally, fire pits are more efficient with the fuel you burn. So, for example, buffalo manure will burn for X amount of time in a campfire. It'll burn for X plus something, or even 1.5 times that in a fire pit. I don't recall the exact numbers. I'll have to look that one up, and we can definitely look it up. But the general idea is, when you're about ready to settle somewhere, you make yourself a fire pit, because it's easy to revisit. Yeah. Also, I think I saw a swamp up here? No. Well, a pond. Frogs and mosquitoes will both spawn out of ponds. You kind of want to be aware of them. Frogs are useful. Mosquitoes, annoying as heck. So I'm basically just looking for a stone. It's almost nighttime. So my second night, here we go. There's a stone I can mine. I won't... There we go. You can hear the noise starting to crash in at you. It gets creepy if you're mining at night. Unfortunately, there's not much I can really do, because if I wanted to mine, I'd have to equip my pickaxe, so it's... As soon as you set up home base, you can craft a backpack. It needs a science machine to prototype. Once you've prototyped something, you can make it in the field, but to prototype it, you need to be near a science machine the first time. Anyway, this gives me, I think, 8 additional inventory slots. Incredibly useful, and that's... Some people I know will just set up a base camp with even a campfire, get their tier 1 science gear, and then continue exploring. I don't mind roughing it, so to speak. So, besides, once I get this, I'll go back, set up base camp, and we'll get rolling. I don't know the exact timer on each day-night cycle, but... something else you probably can't notice yet, but if you look, dusk is getting bigger in proportion to daytime. There are seasons in the game. Something like day 20 or 30, winter comes rolling in, you definitely want to be prepared when it comes, because you can freeze to death. And you'll start shivering, you can tell when you're getting cold, but it's definitely something you want to be ready for. And day 3. Awesome. So we're gonna mine the stone here. Pick up, always, flint you want a good amount, because flint's what you make all your basic tools out of, and tools do get used up. Flint and twigs tend to be what you make all your stuff out of, so very useful. Alright. So, with this in mind, see this dark area? It's a roadway. You move faster when you're running on it compared to something else. Might as well mine this stone while I'm out. So, the nitre, don't know how to pronounce that. Anyway, it can be used later to make gunpowder. I actually haven't played around with it much because it's a decently involved process, and I didn't see much benefit from it, but we'll have to do it for you guys because I think blowing stuff up is always fun. In games. Just gonna clarify that. So, there's not a lot of beefalo here. That is my one concern, is something could theoretically wipe out my herd. Because I only have... So, more beefalo means you have more manure to work with. Beefalo also can be used as a defense, like I showed kind of with the pigs. If you lure an aggressive mob near the beefalo, if it attacks the beefalo once, the entire herd goes crazy on it and tries to murder it. So, I think I'm actually going to create my base camp up here, because there's too many spiders around here. So we're going to go up here and create a base camp. It's still close enough to the beefalo. Also, if nothing does kill my herd, the herd will slowly grow over time. But this is a good enough place for a base camp. That being said, so we're going to make ourselves a fire pit. Requires 2 pieces of wood and 12 stone. Bam. It provides light. I'm just going to let it burn down for now, but we have a fire pit. The next thing we want to build is a science machine. I need a piece of gold. There's some gold down below us. Let's go get some gold. So, acorn, pine cones you can use as fuel or as planting material. Let's drop those for now. Science machine. Aha, I am doing science! Now, the first thing we want to make is a backpack. Why? There we go. 8 more inventory spots. Bam. Life is good. Alright, I'm gonna go pick up my other stuff before I forget about it. Over there's a grave. You can dig up graves. Not really all that beneficial. I mean, I guess there are some gems you can get, but you also get a lot of useless trinkets still. Alright. So the pigs that died their house is still here. They will respawn after I think it's 3 or 5 days. A new pig will move in. So you can kill off the pigs as kind of a source of food, actually, the way I just showed you. Because monster meats, when you have spiders, they spawn every day. They're easy to kill, but monster meat's not too healthy for you to eat. So the trick is you feed the monster meat to the pig, and then you have the pig attack the beefalo. The pigs will die if you do a small enough number of pigs at a time. You pick up the meat, and voila! You're eating ham. Which, you know, eating a well-cooked honey ham in the middle of the wilderness, considering you were brought here by some crazy magician, I'm thinking that's pretty good. So yeah, the game definitely has the game has a bit of a crazy flair to it, which that totally not unusual tree is part of what you'd see, and we will look into that more. It drops nightmare wood, which is I think tier 3 crafting, so it's pretty advanced crafting stuff. But oh look, so there's a nice little forest biome across the river from us, so we have to find a land bridge. Probably, I don't know where the land bridge is actually, to be completely honest, but there's a land bridge somewhere we can find later. So, dusk, pigs go home. Home time, says the pig. Alrighty. And, now that I have a home base, home time for me means I actually head towards home base. Something else I want to do... I need a science machine for that. So, where's home? So, home base. I get to run past the tree. If I'm quick enough, I can talk about it a little bit. It is a little bit dark right now, so it's a little harder to see what's going on. But see this? Examine. Oh yeah, and I talk with a instrument voice. Totally normal tree. You can cut it down. You want to be careful though. Cutting those down, I believe, has a chance at spawning a tree guard, which is the first boss of the game, and they are tough. So you don't want to do it if you're unprepared. Whoop, I've got fuel. I've got cooked meat. And cooked meat, so cooked meat satiates and heals. I'm at full health, you can't see, but it's pretty good stuff. Pretty filling, all around deliciousness. Alright, so a couple of things we're going to want to craft. A shovel allows me to dig up saplings and grass clumps and transplant it, also berry bushes, so it's really useful to have around. Luxury axe. It's an axe, but it doesn't wear out as quickly. If you have excess gold, it's useful. Pitchfork. Razor I will need later. Yeah, later. You can use it to shave your beard or shave beefalo for beefalo fur, so it's something I will need come winter. Food, I can make a basic farm. I need an alchemy engine if I want an improved farm. I want to make an improved farm. Or, yeah. Alchemy engine requires a lot of stone, a lot of wood, and a lot of gold. So we're going to have to go looking for that. But it is worth it. The basic farm... I can set up 2 of those right now. I'll do that tomorrow. Anyway. I have a plan for those, so I don't really want to burn them. manure. This is why I like being near Beefalo. You can keep a nice raging fire whenever you want. The higher the fire level, the more ambient light, which also means the further away you can go from it and do stuff during nighttime. So right now, I'm going to cut down some stumps and make a bit more room for my base camp. Flowers, you can, picking of flowers restores sanity. Also, inventing things restores sanity. So you notice I'm pretty much back at full sanity. But also, flowers spawn bees. So you don't really want to pick all your flowers if you want to deal with bees, or not bees, butterflies. Which, yeah. Basically, flowers are useful, but you don't want to just pick them for the sake of picking them, or else they'll run out. This rain is fine for me. There's another character that takes damage in rain, but we'll talk about him later. The big thing about rain, though, if you hear that thunderclap in the background, lightning will occasionally strike somewhere nearby. It can set the forest on fire. That could be a little bit dangerous. It means my science machine might burn up. That would be annoying. So I'm digging up the stumps so I have room to make something more useful. Okay. Basic farm 1. Basic farm 2. I'll make advanced farms later, but for now I can start seed plant to seed. So basically, advanced farms, things grow faster in an advanced farm, but boards, stone. Okay, the seed butterflies spawn near flowers, and butterflies are useful. Yeah, see, the lightning, fortunately it struck my fire pit. My fire pit is, not gonna burn up, so we're okay there. That could have been really bad, though. Alright. So, we've got a new day. I'm pretty sure this area is just forest, not really worth exploring. So I'm gonna go back up north, and go on a gathering trip. I actually need to get nutrients. I'm hungry and I have very little edible. You can toast and eat seeds. They are worth some satiation, so don't be afraid to do it. Planting them better off because you'll get an actual piece of food, but you know, you don't want to starve. It's better to lose your seeds and still be alive than to starve to death and be like, well, I was making a garden. My 10 cents anyway. Alright. Where are we? We're here. That berry bush would be useful, but I'm actually gonna run along. I guess I do technically have Hoppy I can eat him, but you can make mandrake soup with him. There are different biomes, one of which is a giant rock biome. So if it seems like rocks are rare, don't worry. They are rare in many of the biomes, but there's one biome that's nothing but rock. But since these are here, I will collect them. I'm probably going to spend this next night. I'm not going to run back to home base. So home base, I'm actually not as happy with the home base as I thought I would be. And that's fine, I can pick up and move or make a new home base easy. Because if you look at the map, it's kind of just in the middle of nowhere. Unless there's a bridge out here that goes somewhere, but since there's no road, I'm pretty skeptical of that. That base is kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I might have that be basic base, and leave it. That is a wormhole. Because I'm feeling adventurous, I'm going to show you guys what it does in a second. Need food first, so. Ooh! We are in luck. A touchstone. When I get a hammer, I'll come back. So, if I die, I'll respawn right here. Once. And it'll break. These pig heads, if you break them, you can get a pig skin, which is pretty useful for other things. Let me grab this carrot, and I did... This is actually a really... So this is the starting area, a meadow. Ah, feather hat. Looks like someone died. Hats raise your sanity passively over time, or their warmth, or both. Since my sanity's pretty good, I don't need to wear the hat right now. It slowly loses its... it slowly degrades over time if you're wearing it. So. And that is a gobbler. They are the world's most annoying... Hey, get the hell away from my berries. They just run around and eat berries all day. They are the world's most annoying creatures. Yeah. The reason they're in the game is you can pick, transplant all your berry bushes, and normally that would be enough. If you have a big enough berry farm, you'd never starve. So the game can't be that easy. So what do? We add a gobbler, the bane of Satan. Freaking hate him. Now if you killed him, he drops a drumstick. Hey. I don't think you can trap him. Traps can be used to catch pretty much any small creature and kill them. I think you can't trap a gobbler. Pretty sure you can't. I don't know though. I'll have to try. My guess would be not. Anyway, this is a wormhole. If you jump in, you lose some sanity. When I come back up, my sanity dropped a little bit, and it will warp you somewhere else. And this is fun. So I'm in a swamp right now. You can tell by the purple background. And these things are dangerous. Okay, Murs. These are Murs. They will attack you, but these things, those tentacle beasts, not good. They will rip you apart. You kind of got to keep an eye open for them. You got to watch out, run for your life. I found a little road here. I'm just going to try to run out. Reed is useful later, especially if you're another character. If you're on a road, you can generally run past and be okay. This guy wants to kill me. He'll give up eventually. Whew. And we're safe. I don't know where we are, but we're safe. So the swamp biome is one of the more dangerous biomes in the game. No. Way out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. Where's my carrots? Okay, so now that I'm no longer in immediate danger of starvation, let's continue the exploration. That's the word I was looking for. Exploration. So basically, this is something that's often great to just run around when you're... Pick a road, run around on it, get a feel for what all's out there, what resources are where, 'cause you'll need a little bit of everything. Ah, wow, we're just getting a great intro to everything. I need a torch. There we go. So that funky rock right there, you need a pickaxe to break it up, and in doing so, you open up the path to the caves. They're recently added, and I think they're still a work in progress. A bit more advanced, you don't really want to go in there until you've got a bit of preparation done. Like a base camp. And actually, I might want to build a base camp around this area, but not too close. The minute you open... So, right now it's safe to be there. As soon as I open it up, bats start spawning every dusk. And bats can be useful. They drop guano, which is very similar in function to manure. Oh dear. Whew! That was close. You don't want the light to run out unless you want to die by a group. Stone on the ground, might as well pick it up. It's always going to be useful. And partly why... So, some things require stone, some things require refining, which you can't see because I'm not near my science machine. But refining basically is, okay, I'm going to take 4 raw stone and make 1 cut stone. So any project's like, oh, I need 5 cut stone for this. That's, a lot of raw stone. So that's why it's... Unless you're, several days in, and you know exactly what you do and don't need, if it's convenient, pick up all the raw materials. So I'm starting to get a little bit... My sanity is suffering. And if you look closely, you can see kind of a weird, double vision. don't worry, you didn't have too much to drink. The character in-game is going crazy. Just thought I'd clear that up for all you guys. But this can be fixed. Oh hey, so I'm starting to grow a beard. Cool. Feather hat. I gain sanity over time. I'm going to see what's north, although I don't suspect there to be much. I actually expect to run into the ocean soon. Yep, there's the ocean. Bunny rabbit hole, which you can dig up and explode the bunny. Bunnies drop meat morsels. They're not a bad source of sustenance, but killing bunnies is a bad act, too many bad acts, and there is a consequence, which we'll get into when I'm prepared for the consequences. But killing a few won't hurt you, especially if you're desperate. Again, better to have a few negative consequences and survive than to die. So there's another totally normal tree surrounded by evil flowers. Oh hey, cool. An abandoned farm plot with the metal potato head thing. That's another one of the parts of the contraption. So I'm up to 2 parts, not bad. And a little farm area. This actually wouldn't be a horrific place to set up a base camp once I open that up, because I'll have a source of fertilizer, which I can use for a fire. You can kind of get meat from here. There are things that can be done. It's maybe not ideal, but it's doable. I don't know. I'll think about it. For now, though, I will plant a seed in each of these. As long as... I don't think anything can pick them up, so I'll just... If I ever come back through here, there'll be some food waiting for me. Alright, so that more or less looks like we just dead end into more swampland. I'm going to go brave the swamp. So if you see these little disturbances on the ground, that's where the tentacles will come out. Ponds can spawn mosquitoes, which are annoying and pretty much useless, and frogs, which are useful. If you generally just keep moving quickly, for the most part, you can avoid getting murdered by tentacles. But again, going into the swamp is... There's no guarantee you'll come out alive. I'll put it that way. How's that? You can hear the creepy music, too. Not really music, but just creepy. You can harvest spiky bush for twigs, but you take damage in doing so it's not really worth it. That rundown house is where the Murs come from. They're aggressive. There's no way to tame them. But you can watch them kill these guys and pick up the loot. It's useful in that respect. Reeds can be useful for things, but I'm not needing them yet, so I'm just going to ignore them. That's something for something else. So really, I'm just running through, exploring, trying to figure out what's out there, and I have a base camp if I want to return to it. I haven't invested too heavily into it, so I'm not entirely against finding a better base camp. Over by the caves is kind of nice. I might set up a small base camp over there, and that's other people, they just kind of have base camps everywhere. Nothing wrong. Just pick your style and go with it. So it looks like I'm almost back to where I started. Yeah, there's just a small ocean in the way. No problem. You can never cross those oceans, by the way, unless you find a bridge, but there's no craftable item or technology. Oh, looks like there was a land bridge there? According to the map, that's... Oh, yeah, okay. Cool. So here we are, back in the neighborhood. So that is what a wormhole does. It'll warp you around. I could have hopped in the wormhole and came right back, too. They're not one-way tickets, but each jump does cost a little bit of sanity. Let's keep running. Running, running, running. Da-da-da. How much flint do I have? Not enough flint. Also, these twigs and bush, like the twig will eventually grow back. I don't know the time on it offhand, but it will grow back. Here's this. Alternatively, you can make a base next to that. There are lots of good options for base camp. And essentially just whatever is most convenient and makes the game most fun for you is, in my opinion, the best way to go. Okay, so now I've got plenty of torchlight, so I'm not going to get eaten by a Grue tonight when I'm roaming around. So really, I'm on a little, and it's hard to see in the dark. I am sorry for that one, guys. Maybe I can turn the gamma up. Seems to be a little better. But I'm just following the road to see where it goes. And then I'm deviating when I see different biomes. So this looks like another little meadow. Nice, peaceful. You've got tons of raw, basic resources. These meadows tend to have no stone whatsoever. So that's kind of how it balances out the fact that you've got everything else you need. Twigs, flint on the ground. You can't stay there forever because eventually you'll run out of flint and you'll have to find rocks. Yeah. So, sometimes you've got to keep moving. But it's, you know, not bad to pick up resources on your way through. Alright, here's another road. Let's see. Oh, hey, I found bees. This is a beehive. I'm not going to attack it because bees will swarm out. You can catch bees and you can actually make your own beehive. You can be a beekeeper. It gives you honey, which is useful in making healing potions as well as food. Ideally, you will want to make yourself a beehive or two near your home base because they're just that useful. And here we are, another nightfall. I'm just harvesting these and eating them as I go. So I'm out of inventory space. As you can see, the backpack is so much nicer. So, the pigs, when they died before, they both dropped meat, which was fortunate for me. They can also drop, instead of meat, a pig skin, which can be used to, with enough of them, you can make a pig house to spawn your own piggies. It can also be used to make a weapon, a helmet, and a piggyback. And it's a heavy-duty backpack, gives you more storage space. I can't remember exactly how much. You move slower though, so it's for heavy-duty haulers. But let's just keep seeing what's out there. Almost. There we go. You always want to take off your torch when you're done using it. This is an interesting generated landscape. That's kind of funny, actually. Little patches of... Hey, it's a frog. So, frogs are annoying. They're aggressive. They spit out a tongue and they'll cause you to drop random items from your inventory. But, if you drop a trap and lure a frog into it, it will kill the frog. So, in that respect, and you get frog legs, which are decently filling. They're actually a pretty good food all around. So if you're by a bunch of ponds, up here we have at least 2 frog ponds, I think. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, and we have another touchstone. Cool. Yeah, you can set up base by a couple of frog ponds, and you'll have your food set, except for in the winter, because in the winter ponds freeze over. Yeah. But again, it's all about figuring out what you want to do with it and make your best shot. Yeah, looks like that's gonna dead end out there. Or I just never explored that far. Let's see what we find. Any rate, we're nearing though the end of our first episode here, so welcome. I'm just kind of roaming here. Welcome to our new series. I'm not sure how many there'll be. I actually have not beaten the story mode of this game yet. It's, I think, a little challenging. So we'll have to see. I don't know if I'll try for it with this character, show you guys some of the new characters, the new stuff. Let me know what type of a series you're in the mood for, if you want like a playthrough, a highlights reel. For now, I'm gonna kind of do a similar fashion as what I did with Terraria. Just start playing, walk you guys through it, show you the tips and tricks I know, and just have fun along the way. That's what these things are for anyways. But let me know if there's anything specific you had in mind. But yeah, so this is Don't Starve. Phenomenal game. I picked it up on Steam for, I don't know. It goes on sale fairly regularly. Really cheap though. Like, you can pick it up for $5 easy. And it's totally worth the investment. In my opinion, at any rate. Alright, so it looks like that's just a nice open area of all sorts of goodies. I could make a base there, but I really want something that drops manure for the easy and infinite source of fuel. Especially come winter, you don't want to be chopping down trees 24/7 just to stay warm. Yeah. Anyway, so this would be the first episode of the game. What we got here? Save. Oh, cool. Yeah, there'll be more as we go. Let me know again also if I need to balance the audio or whatnot. Thank you guys for watching. But I think this is gonna wrap it up. So not a bad world. We've got some swamp. We got a little bit of everything. We'll definitely take it from there. Nothing to sneeze at. But I think this wraps up the episode. Thank you guys all for watching. Until next time, take care.